So this is a short clip I took on descent into Hawaii the other morning, shortly after we commenced our descent from cruising altitude. And the reason I grabbed this video is because the position here of the velocity vector is directly on the horizon. Now, you can see this green line above. That's the true level position, and we're talking about the horizon actually dropping below true level from high altitude. Now, as you can see, and when I run the video, you'll see that the aircraft is actually descending. The velocity vector is right on the horizon, and we are descending, which means it's below true level. Now, anyone who's flown an aircraft and has an instrument rating will tell you that if you're flying a 3-degree descent angle, which is fairly standard for this type of aircraft on a long descent from high altitude, and it's also relevant to instrument approaches such as an ILS, which is predicated on a 3-degree glide path. To achieve that, a good rule of thumb that pilots use is to use a rate of descent that is 5 times your ground speed. So if we were flying at 100 knots, we would have to descend at 500 feet per minute to achieve that 3-degree glide path. In the cruise here, we're cruising at about 500 knots. You'll see down here the little wind arrow. We had about 30 knots of tailwind. Our cruise speed is about 470 knots. So our ground speed was around 500 knots at this point of the flight. Therefore, for a 3-degree descent angle, we're going to be looking for 2,500 feet per minute. Now you'll see that down here in the head-up display, just down in this part. So look for 2,500 feet per minute, which will confirm that 3-degree descent angle. But the important points are that to achieve that, we are putting the velocity vector on the horizon. It's clearly on the horizon. Now, if that horizon was at eye level, if it had risen to eye level, and we have the velocity vector on the horizon, the airplane would not be descending at all. However, with the velocity vector on the horizon, we are descending, and that is just another proof that the horizon does not always rise to eye level. It is several degrees below eye level.